Greetings, Dave Dickinson here from AstroGuys.com. What's up? And we are attempting to do a live. Hey, Creative Vegan joined, cool. Attempting to do a live Periscope here from Rabat, Morocco, from our Airbnb, and just talking. Get it to actually broadcast correctly. It wasn't going well on the internet at first. I'm doing this off the Airbnb house internet right now because I'm not getting a phone signal. So let me know out there if you're getting a clear view, if you're getting any view or anything like that. This week, Weekly Space Hangout, we are going to be interviewing, I believe it's Jim Green. I saw the thing very brief. Dr. James Green, NASA Director of Planetary Science, is going to be on. I'm going to be talking about the equinox that recently happened with the full moon occurring, how frequent that is. That's already kind of come and gone for an observational event because it was Monday that we had the June northward solstice, not equinox. And we had the full moon on the same date. Yes, looks good. Oh, cool. Thanks, D-Dun 1963, getting some dropouts. I'll put this up on YouTube afterwards, too, just for a little bit of... to keep it up there for archival sake. Also be talking about Frippon, which is something I wrote about on Sky and Telescope, which is the Fireball Recovery and Interplanetary Observation Network. This is a new meteor observation network that the University of Paris has going on across the country in France, and it's kind of interesting because they've done these sorts of meteor networks before, but this one is very centrally located, a very swift system, and they're actually going to employ the public as well as researchers, and the whole goal is to try to recover these meteorites shortly after they hit the ground, after the bolides are seen in the sky. You get 2 or 3 cameras out there that you can get the right trajectory and the right angle on the meteorite, on the incoming bolide, and they're saying that they can generate a probable strewn field that's a long rectangular path about 10 kilometers long by 1 kilometer wide. So then they're going to try to engage students, the public, researchers to go out there and actually find these meteorites as they're going on. So I'm over here in Morocco, which is also, there's no Frippon network here, although this is a former French. The French is pretty well spoken here. It's a nod to the time of colonialism. French and Arabic. English is not very well spoken here, but we're getting along. We're in the capital, Rabat. We were in Tangier, and then we were on the beachside town of Asila. And tomorrow we have a moving day going to Casablanca. We're staying in all Airbnbs, and we're loving it. It's pretty awesome. It's almost like, yeah, I remember a time when I used to stay in hostels or hotels, but it seems like so far back there in time. And we're still tracking satellites, and we're still doing things like what's going on in the sky. Usually I have it's kind of centric with wherever I'm located, so you might notice that I'm doing all the satellite passes of interest now for Northwest Africa. If we get any followers out there from Northwest Africa, I don't know if I have any followers that are currently in Morocco. We're going to be going back into Spain later this year. We're spending the summer here. Probably going to go over to Tunisia and check out. We got to do the mandatory Star Wars scene and everything over there. But we're enjoying it here. I went and walked around Saleh the other day. Hey, Trevor Mann joined. Cool. Very cool. We've got a cycle of ISS passes coming up too in July. That's going to be another cycle of ISS all night where it enters. This year is kind of weird around, speaking of the solstice. Something else that's interesting that happens too is the ISS orbit enters 2 periods of full illumination. We had one in June, early June, that I wrote about for Sky and Telescope. And we're going to have one, I believe it's July 26th, without looking at what I found, July 26th through the 29th. So that's going to be kind of interesting, and we're going to have ISS passes worldwide. If you're up in the latitude of like 40 to 50 north, up around UK latitude, they see 4 to 5 ISS passes a night. That's always pretty cool. Our next launch, I believe it's on July 6th, that's scheduled anyway, is another mission going up to the ISS, so that's another crewed mission going up there. There's also something this weekend coming up. I don't know if they're going to broadcast this live, and I've heard a very rough possible estimate for a launch time of 12:30 UT, but if they do this, you're going to hear about it. Oh, cool. We got another broadcaster. China is attempting to launch their Long March 7 rocket. This is their new heavy lift rocket. There's a whole generation of new heavy lift rockets, and China may actually get theirs off the pad first. However, I hear the weather is pretty bad over at their launch site. I don't know if there's going to be a broadcast. China is kind of ISS winkouts. You know what? I don't know. I haven't looked at the predictions for those yet. That's interesting. I know we talked about them before, where you actually can see the ISS just pass in the edge of the cone of the Earth's shadow and out. I've never seen it do it. You have to be at the right location, but I know we had one over the central U.S. Was that earlier this year, last year? It all kind of blends together now. But yeah, so make sure to check those out. And if anybody's got any questions about space, astronomy, traveling, I believe this is the last weekly space hangout this summer before we go on hiatus. So I wanted to make sure that I could join in on this one. It's actually working out pretty well. It seems like the Hangouts we got about a dozen people following it right now. Hangout is at the top of the hour. Again, our guest is going to be Dr. James Green, NASA Director of Planetary Science. It's been kind of fun to do these Hangouts overseas. It's a little challenging because the internet connection is not always stable, and if we get into getting delays and things like that. But it's been fun to be over here. We're traveling long term. We're not on vacation as much as working, writing, and traveling while we're over here doing this. So, hey, I got somebody else that just joined. You are in Morocco. Yes, I am. I am in Rabat, Morocco, as a matter of fact. So we've been here for about a week, and tomorrow is a moving day. That means getting our bags together and rolling to they got kind of a good modern tram system here. They just got started in about a year ago. We've been using it to get around town. It's about 60 cents. First time seeing an American in Morocco. We are kind of rare here, actually. I think most English speakers are British that are here. And we find that actually, I know a teeny bit of French. When I read French, I can pick up every third or fourth word. I've taken French and Arabic, and I forgot most of all of them. Let's see, Trevor Mann, I saw one last year, June 4th, and coordinated it with Lunar Transit, same pass. Yes, I remember that. That's, again, it all blends together. It's like, wow, has it really been that long? It's been like over a year. So, and it's kind of neat. I haven't seen many satellite passes from here. We had some ISS passes I managed to catch from Tangier. Do you live in Morocco? No. We're staying at Airbnbs and we're moving. We've got a 90-day visa. We're about a month into it as of right about today, as a matter of fact. 'Cause we came over on the 23rd. Yeah, just a month and a day. And we've got about 2 more months. And we're probably going to go over to, we don't know, Tunisia. We're going to go somewhere else out of here and then back up into Spain this winter. But we're just kind of, we're working, and as long as we got Wi-Fi, we can keep working and making something simulating an income. So I'm from Morocco, living in the States. Oh, cool. Morocco's pretty cool. We're having a fun time here. So I said we've done Tangier, Asila, Rabat. I don't know if we're going to get to Fez or Marrakesh. The timing of when we're here right now, it just happens. Ramadan is just about done. We've got about 1 more week here. And then Marrakesh and those places, from what I've heard, are blazing hot this time of year. We're talking, I've heard up toward 45, 50 degrees Celsius, which is like the surface of the sun kind of hot. I don't know if we want to be trekking in that kind of heat. It's not as much fun to go climbing around ruins and walking through the Medina when you're melting. I think if we did go to Marrakesh, that would be our one splurge, to get a place with air conditioning and a pool, which might mean a hotel or a hostel instead of Airbnb. But I think we're going to enjoy Casablanca, so that's our next stop. I've not been there. I had not been to Morocco till a month ago when we first got here. So I've been to Turkey, I've been to Jordan, been to Kuwait, been to Israel, Egypt, Djibouti, Kenya, but it reminds me it's a lot like Jordan here, actually. So it's just more working class Arab kind of country, but it's got its own twist to it. So it's everywhere's got its own thing. All right, got about 1 more minute. I'll open it up for questions before I'll give the 1 minute alarm here before I shut Periscope down, and then I'll transition into getting ready for the weekly Space Hangout. top of the hour goes off. Right now with Ramadan, we're sprung back an hour actually to UT Universal Time 0, Greenwich Mean Time. And then the Sunday after Ramadan ends on, I believe it's July 5th, they'll probably sight the new crescent moon. And so comments seem to be delayed by nearly 70 seconds from sending to you to seeing it. Interesting. Yeah, because it's probably with the delay going through Morocco. The internet's been pretty good here. It's most places have kind of a pay-as-you-go internet, so that's the only thing that's a little. You don't want to be streaming a lot of Netflix or Amazon Prime on your stuff. And when I watch YouTube, in the name of trying to save, because there's some things for research, that I just got to keep up with the news I got to keep up with. So I put the compression rate, the data rate on YouTube, like right down to like 144p, so I'm not using any more data than I need to like if I'm watching, say, NewsHour or something like that, I don't need it in ultra high def to watch it and listen to it. So just to try to save data both on our phone. We got our phones unlocked. Clear skies there? Yeah, it's been a little hazy lately. We haven't been out of the city a lot, so that we're kind of restricted from just like looking at things on our balcony. In Rabat and in Tangier. In Asila was a little more rural, but still. If we rent a car past Casablanca, we might try to get out a little bit. I'd like to get out into the desert in some of these areas. Again, really hot this time of year, but then I might be able to do. I didn't bring a telescope. I have my binoculars, and I have the DSLR and a small collapsible tripod. We're kind of moving on our own, and not having a car means, yep, there's a delay, yeah. Not having a car when you're going around Morocco means that I've got myself trimmed down to about 2 bags, 1 tech bag and 1 rolling backpack. So, because you've got to make your way from hotel to train stop or Airbnb, what have you, Airbnb to taxi to train stop. So you're doing a lot of rolling. Want to have to tow them, and I'm glad every time that I have to get off and on a crowded train or bus or whatever that I don't have a third bag that I have to maneuver, because it would just be too much. But that also means carrying no telescope. So, but my binoculars are pretty decent. They're one of the few concessions that I brought. So, all right. Thanks for joining. I'm going to get ready for the weekly space hangout that's going off at the top of the hour in about 15 minutes. So I'll see you then.